welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about painting my front door to complete this final entryway makeover. Last spring I did a front of my home makeover where I painted the exterior, stained the front step, and this spring I redid my entryway, and this is the last piece. Now, ideally I would have liked to cut out this glass insert and put in a rectangle one for something a little more modern. For now, I'm going to work with what I have and I'm just going to paint the door. I'm actually going to do a faux wood stain using the product Retique It. So this here is the product by Retique It. It's a wood in primer, so it actually has wood inside the primer. I'm going to first prep my door, and then I'm going to do 1 to 2 coats of this, depending what it calls for, and then stain it with their Barnwood. And you can do 1 to 3 coats of stain depending on what your desired finished look is. Now you can see here my door already has a faux wood in it. So I went with their smooth kit, but they also have a kit as well too that comes with a template that you can do the faux wood with the stain in it. So I'll link their products below so you can check them out. Prep is king when you're painting anything. So I'm going to give it a really, really good cleaning. And I'm going to give it a scuff sand, and there's a few places that need a little bit of touch up. I replaced my doorknob, so there's a few holes here because it's a different style, so I'm going to fill those in, give them a sand, and it should hide perfectly behind the paint. Now, I do plan to paint this white strip in the center just because I feel like it stands out too much, and I want it to be cohesive and all look like one whole unit. Next up is using the Retique It wooden primer. This honestly went on just like regular paint. I just used a paintbrush directly from Retique It and applied it into the grooves on the door and then covered off the flat areas. I kept the brush strokes going in the direction of the faux wood that was already the door. You could use a roller, but I just stuck to using a paintbrush here. It is fairly thick, although because my door was really dark, I did have to do a couple coats, and then in some sections I had to apply a third coat just to ensure it was covered up. In hindsight, I probably didn't have to do that because once you go over it with a stain, it's going to cover a lot of that up, but maybe it depends how many coats of stain you really want to do. Next up is using the stain of any color of your choice. Retique It has lots of great options. I went with Barnwood as I felt it went best with the exterior colors of my home. At first when I started applying it, it was a fairly warm day outside and I felt like the stain was drying fairly quickly. So I grabbed a misting bottle that I had and just applied a very, very light layer of mist, and it extended my working time with the stain. I did actually start out using a rag and then switch to a brush. I did go back to a rag, back to a brush. I think it really comes down to preference. I ended up liking the way the brush was applying the stain, and I just kind of went with that for the remainder of painting the door and frame. I started with the frame on the outside first, and then I applied a second coat. In hindsight, I wish I would have just stuck to the first coat and then continued on the first coat on everything else, because I did actually prefer the look of the first coat as I got going and doing the door. But because I had already did a second coat on the frame outside, I kind of had to commit to that for the rest of the door. So if that was one thing that I could do a little bit differently, it would. You can see here, this is the first coat on the door, and I kind of liked it a little bit better, but you know what? I still love the final results.
feel it looks much better than it did before. Now the door actually pops. It looks like one solid unit that's bigger because everything is painted the same. And overall, it was a really affordable option. A new wood door would cost over $5,000 when I was looking on Home Depot, and this kit was less than $200 all in. And I just love how it goes with the aesthetic of our home. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll also link my entryway makeover, which was very affordable and beginner friendly for you to check out. We'll see you in the next one.